going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for everyone for coming. Trish Ersfeld, she's a working girl. She's on the road right now, and she apologizes for not being here. But we have, I think, another great meeting planned here. We got some presenters, or at least one presenter, and we got some updates and some things to talk about. And we are recording this, so we will record this and post the and I'll trim all the introductory part out to where we just have the meeting itself. So we'll be able to post this out to our YouTube so you guys can stay updated what's going on. What I'd like to do is start with just some quick introductions. What's really missing sometimes, when we did this for 2017, we all got together at the Science Center or wherever we were, and we got to talk with each other for a while. So we kind of missed that part. So what I like to do is just start with some introductions. I've tried to tally up people that's come here. So Julie, if you can introduce yourself, I'm going to try to go down my list so I don't miss anybody. Julie. Julie is, there you go. You have to hit your space bar, Julie, I think. Brashler. There you go.
About that. Julie from Ripley County Current River Heritage Museum in Donovan.
Okay. Do you have anything new to report to us, I guess, from your area?
No, we're having meetings. I'm looking forward to the event in West Plains on the 11th.
All right.
Otherwise,
cool.
nothing.
Very good. So Autumn, I know you'll be talking with us a little bit later. Autumn Shirley, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Autumn Shirley with the Ozark Small Business Incubator, also known as OSB. And I will be talking a little bit later about the event that Julie just referenced here in West Plains.
Very good. Gene Weinbeck?
Yes, I'm in West Plains, and I'm representing the Yellow House Community Arts Center. Nothing really to report. We're just looking forward to the eclipse and trying to figure out what kind of fun entertainment activities we can have.
So are you actually working on some art for that, for the eclipse itself?
You
said it was an art center, you said?
Yes, it is a community arts center, and there's always art exhibits going on and special themes. But we have not identified a time to have a special eclipse thing.
Okay.
Not sure if we should try that for during the eclipse or leading up to it.
Well, I would say maybe prior to would be really good. A lot of people, they think beyond, and we'll get the introductions back here in just a second, but a lot of people think of the eclipse itself, but there's also art, sound, music. There's lots of things to experience that. People have different ways they like to experience that.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So Chris Garish, are you there?
Yes, I am. Christy Garish, I'm from the Glen Carbon Library in Illinois. We're just really trying to, I'm just really trying to make sure that the other libraries around the area are prepared, because some of us got hit really hard in 2017. And every time I tell them, get your glasses, they're like, sure, we'll get them. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so it's a bit frustrating, but we're doing well.
Yeah, we mentioned the StarNet, right? You heard about that. So you can get glasses for libraries, I think, through StarNet right now. They're starting to hand those out. So we can talk about that later if you'd like to. So
sure.
Suzanne Moore, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hi there.
Hi, Suzanne Moore, Rockwood School District in the St. Louis County. And just trying to prepare for, even though we'll be at 98.7%, according to Dawn. Just still preparing for the event. We've got, between students and staff, probably 25,000 individuals to cover. And when you talk about like the schools, I know that when you mentioned that earlier, it was our third day of school in August of 2017. And when you're trying to prepare for 20,000 students that you just met 2 days ago, that was part of the challenge, especially for our teachers of littles, trying to get, you're corralling kindergartners, which is like parading cats, and just trying to get them outside. So this will be better. It'll be April, much greater time to prepare. So our goal now is the glasses debacle. So just trying to get conversations to get that in place.
Right. Yeah.
So as far as having, but setting our school calendar that was already approved by the board last year. So,
Well, there you go.
you know, trying to campaign to get the day off isn't in our calendar. So
Right, right.
we're preparing for the eclipse.
Yeah. So just to remind everybody, we had this little fun last time, is that somebody would say, well, I'm at 99.9%. That's pretty darn close. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit like drinking water or wine, or maybe
Yeah.
you're smelling your neighbor's barbecue and not actually getting to eat it. So it's really, you got to be in the path, actually, even if it's only a couple seconds, it's not the same.
Yeah.
All right, Eugene Vale.
Yeah, hi, I'm Eugene Vale. I was the Missouri State Park point person for the 2017 Eclipse. I'm now retired, but like many people, we've been running around trying to tell people they need to get ready, and only people who really dealt with it last year last time seem to understand, but folks are starting to pay attention. I do. Okay, what was it? There's somebody brought. Oh, my wife was involved with an art gallery in St. Clair that did it. All their artists did various eclipse paintings. She did 3 of them. They sold reproductions of the things as refrigerator magnets, postcards, that sort of thing. And she even sold one of the originals that she did. So, yeah, their art community got together and behind this.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Terry Menz, I don't think I've covered you yet, right?
No, I am Terry Menz. I'm from Riverbend Astronomy Club, and we're up in the Illinois side of the St. Louis metropolitan area. We tend to cover more of the northern half of that area. We've got there's this last member tends to cover the southern part of. So what we've been doing is we've been arranging for doing our eclipse talk with all the groups that are inquiring for any outreach. We offer that up because we want to make sure and get that word out. We include in our talk Jeff's had included a video of the eclipse in 2017, not necessarily the eclipse itself, but the actual what it looked like on the ground and what it sounded like on the ground. And that is a big hit right at the end of our presentation once he's explained how they happen. We are gearing up for our own event, which will be a private event, but we have a lot involved with that because we're out in the middle of a cornfield. So we're doing a lot of prep. We plan on being at the expo with a booth for our club, as well as I'll do some educational activities.
Very good. Thank you. Rick Schwenker.
Hey, my name is Rick Schwenker, and I'm president of the Eastern Missouri Dark Sky Observers, which is about 50 miles west of St. Louis in Franklin County. We are getting ready. I'm preparing a talk that I'm going to plan to go to different civic organizations and school organizations and spread the word about the upcoming eclipse. We purchased about 6,500 eclipse glasses already, although we're not selling them very fast right now, but as we get closer, I'm sure we'll be moving them fast. We have a number of members that are planning to be down in the total eclipse path. One problem is that we have our normal scheduled stargazing events at the same time, and as the expo. So we're going to have to split our club so that we can still do our normally scheduled stargazing, but we'll have a number of people down the expo. During the 2017 event that we had, our club worked with the Chamber of Commerce Washington, and we developed a large-scale solar system model. And we also have a number of posters that were framed, and we plan to use those to keep people busy while we're waiting for the eclipse to happen. And one of our members and myself, we've gotten our hotel rooms down in Perryville. They were not open in Cape Girardeau, so we went to Perryville. We were able to pick up 2 rooms, so we're covered there. Other than that, I think we're just slowly moving to try to get organized, promote the knowledge of the eclipse in our area so people can decide if they want to make the trip to get the the whole enchilada or just stay here and get a slice of it. So
Okay, well, thank you, Rick. Nicolette? Cape City?
Hey there, Nicolette Brennan, Public Information for City of Cape Girardeau. I've been talking with Brenda off and on throughout this process and popped in a meeting or two. Our incident planning team was going to add this to their next agenda just to make sure our community is prepared. And we are just kind of staying tuned for any way that the city can plug in. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you. Cody Norris, you want to say hi? I'm not getting any audio there, Cody. Yeah, you know sign language? All right, there you go. Cody he obviously you can talk with Cody by chat here, but he presented a few months ago. He's from Mark Twain National Forest, and so they are well into the planning. As I remember, you're opening campgrounds early, or at least trying to, and doing some cool stuff. And I was just down Ozark National Scenic Riverways, and I was telling them some of the planning you're doing, so they're jealous, I think. So there you go. Nancy Ketch.
Hi, thanks. I'm Nancy Ketch. I'm from Fulton, Maine. We're the last place on the path where in the United States where people will be able to view the eclipse, and we're well underway with our planning too. We might be a little bit behind you guys because you had some advantage in going through it before, but we did work with Rainbow Symphony. We've got 60,000 glasses. We're looking at doing an expo. We've ordered a poster. Tyler Nordgren that was on a few months ago did our artwork for us, and coordinating with our police department and hospital and those things. So again, always appreciate the input and being able to be here. I missed the last meeting. I was at the National Main Street Conference, and they had some programs specific to the eclipse, some information on funders, and different presentations. So that was, even I was sorry to miss this meeting, but I was glad to get that information too.
There you
So
go.
thanks.
Well, thank you. Kelly Wall.
I am brand new to this game and I'm just here to learn and listen. We have a task force that we have formed, but we are, like some of you have mentioned, still trying to convince everyone that it's going to happen. And it's
It'll happen. It'll happen. We did have some complaints last time. They said, why would anybody schedule something for Monday instead of Sunday? So that was the last we had. It was kind of funny because, it's not like we have just nature here. So
yeah. We have no control.
well, thank you, Kelly. Alyssa, you want to say hi to everybody? Alyssa Ferris.
Hey there. I'm trying to get my video because I think it's nice to see somebody.
There you go.
Hi. So Trish invited me. I'm Elisa Ferris. I was with Visit Cape for 10 years, and now I'm with Red Letter Communications, which is a creative agency in Cape Girardeau. But I'm also on the board of directors for the Southeast Tourism Society, and I'm on the executive board for Visit Cape. So really, I'm here in 3 roles. One, to see if there's any way that Red Letter can help contribute to the success of the event, both this summer and then next year here in Cape Girardeau. 2, to make sure that I communicate with Southeast Tourism Society on what we have going on here. And then 3, making sure that the Visit Cape board is doing everything it can to also make sure that all of these things are a success. So thanks. Trish and I met last week at a conference we were at, and she was like, I'm sending you an invite immediately. So that's why I'm here.
So other than Robbie Myers, who will be speaking next year, if I missed anybody? All right.
I don't think you called on me, but maybe you did. This is Steve Hall from Poplar Bluff. Maybe I just missed it. But anyway, we're doing a 4-day event, which we branded as Total Eclipse of the Bluff, since we're in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And it's going very well. We kick it off on the Friday before with a educational portion with a group outside of our area and from Northern Illinois. That's an astronomical group, and then also a retired NASA astronaut who's had a lot of time walking in space and actually on the moon. And then we have concerts and festivals and fireworks and runs and golf and all kinds of stuff, hoping to get people lured in before, and then maybe even keeping them a little bit afterwards with the big NCAA basketball championship game that Monday night.
All right, well, cool. That's excellent. Did I miss anyone else? Sorry about that, Steve. I'm trying to keep a list, but sometimes it's hard to keep up with the people coming and going. So, did I miss anyone else except Robbie here? All right, so we're going to have some other things to cover, but I'd like to go ahead and introduce Robbie Myers, who will give us a little talk about some cool things that are going on. Rob, do you need a screen share? You should be able to do that, or are you just going to talk? You're going to just
I'm
talk?
just going to be talking.
Awesome. That's quite all right. So let me go ahead and highlight you here. Spotlight you. There you go.
Apologize for my voice. Got some allergy stuff going on, but yeah, Trish and I both were in Jeff City last month and testified in front of the tourism committee, just some resolutions promoting the Eclipse. But Steve Halter, our chamber director who just spoke, last summer we hosted a meeting with our state senator Jason Bean and Missouri Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe. And we spent quite a bit of time talking about our plans for the Eclipse. And they both thought that there needed to be extra appropriations in this year's state budget to help that. And at this point, both in the House and the Senate, $250,000 has been appropriated. Now, we're a long ways from the budget becoming law, so don't get too excited just yet, but just planning for that. I don't know if any of you accessed a Juneteenth grant, but this is the most similar thing that the state's ever done, would be the Juneteenth grant. Historically, Missouri Department of Division of Tourism funding has gone for helping with marketing expense. But for Juneteenth grants, it actually went beyond that. And so once the budget's approved next in May, and then the governor has to sign it and it will go into effect July 1, then they'll set out rules in this. But what we're hoping for is everyone along the path of the Eclipse would participate in applying for this. It will be a competitive grant, but they do want to spread it around the whole distance in Missouri that's being covered. Those eligible to apply, if they follow the same model as the Juneteenth, which we believe they will, is nonprofit organizations, destination marketing organizations, city and county governments. The grant can be used, if again following that, for venue, rental usage, event marketing and advertising, live entertainment, security, event staging, cleanup, food vendors, volunteer support, non-alcoholic beverages, audiovisual equipment, and personnel. And again, in the past, the only thing that's ever been funded for the most part has been marketing expenses. So this is now time to start thinking about that. If there were some thing you could do in your community, the amount that they list on this one was from $5,000 to $100,000. I doubt they would award $100,000 to one entity when there's only $250,000 available. But probably that $5,000 to $10,000, maybe a little more is what they're probably looking at to try to get communities involved and to spread that out. And let me, then the criteria besides eligibility, they're looking for events that will have more than 500 people, have some kind of educational component, programming for those ages 18 years and younger. They're always interested in multiple day celebrations with multiple events, and events draws attendees from more than 50 miles, which is the standard tourism industry definition of tourism. So we'll get the director or someone once this is actually active to address this group. But Trish, we're just excited that there was an interest level in Jeff City amongst legislators and others to recognize the enormity of the totality of the Eclipse coming through, and not only putting in the budget, but also doing proclamations and resolutions and things along that line. And so what we and Steve Halter pointed out a lot of what we're doing here in Poplar Bluff and Butler County. But we're trying to finalize as much as we can so we can to put in a brochure that we will have at the expo. We know that there'll be other things that won't be ready for publication just at that point in time, but we want to be able to share with everyone as much as we know we're going to be happening at that event. I'm emergency management director in Butler County, and so the day before our 4-day event begins on that Thursday, April 4th, we're going to be doing a full-scale earthquake exercise. This is something we do in our region every 7 to 10 years anyways, but I wanted to get some equipment down here, whether it's communication vehicles, some cell towers on wheels, and some things like that that can increase our capacity as visitors come in. We're hoping to get some of those here and then utilize them as an incident command center for the 4-day event, Total Eclipse of the Bluff. But as far as why Trish wanted me to talk, is wanted people to start thinking, besides things that you're already doing that you got sponsors for and others, if you had a little bit extra money from the state, what is it you would like to add that would draw interest to people from more than 50 miles away and make people want to come to your community? And I think you just got to lean into whatever it is your community does well. I don't think we need to go reinvent things. Whatever it is, if it's an art museum or the Veterans Wall or whatever it is you have, now's the time to really highlight it to your visitors and try to get more to come in. And like I said, this is a work in progress on the grant itself, but I just, we wanted to plant the seed for that. And I'm happy to answer any questions the best I can on all of that subject matter.
So I have a question for you, Robbie. Is there a draft of something out there they can link to and to see what's being proposed? You've covered a lot of stuff here, and I think there's probably some good notes that have been taken, and certainly we're recording this, but is there something right now they can look at? Because is there any feedback process they can do, like help you?
They could talk to their legislators, but no, it's just a line item in the budget at this point in time.
Okay, so there's no detail on it.
The $250,000. So just talking to your legislators to support that. Like I said, it's already passed the House and the Senate. It hasn't passed in the same format, the budget yet, but reaching out to their legislators to support that is always helpful. And they probably already have. I believe most of those that are in the pathway voted for that, both in the House and the Senate.
Well, this is really great. So what kind of questions do we have from the group for Robbie? Thank you, Robbie, for giving us that great update. So you guys have any questions about what he's talked about or how you can help or anything like that? Well, I tell you, that's exciting because last time we couldn't even really get them to say even the eclipse is coming almost until the day of, and then like, oh my goodness, maybe we should have done something. So that's really great that you're this far ahead. And it seems like a long way ahead, guys, but it really isn't. I mean, if you wanted to put this stuff into action, it just takes, as you well know, it takes an organization's time to make it actually happen on the ground, so to speak.
I appreciate
have something to say. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
So this is Elisa. Okay, so I was at Southeast Tourism Society's domestic showcase last week, which is essentially like a trade show. Trish was there too, and it's destinations all across the Southeast, meeting with potential, for this show specifically, group travel, but there are also we're PR, so writers and lots of publications that cover Southeast. And because Missouri is a part of the SEC, we were added into this kind of group several years ago. And there are lots of states who are very, very, very far ahead in planning, particularly to this group of people, Arkansas being one of them, which is our neighbor, obviously, to the south. They have a lot of really well put together marketing materials already. And so definitely we'll be looking at that Missouri Division of Tourism and looking at the legislature, hoping that gets passed in May. And as soon as you can get, for your destinations or this group, we can kind of talk about in the future, making sure that you're applying for that program, having everything you need. Definitely want to just make sure everybody doesn't sit on it. That's basically what I want to say. Don't wait it out. If you need help, that's kind of why Trish invited me here. I'm very interested in tourism in Missouri specifically. And in this group, I was part of the 2017 event here in Cape. And from what I can hear at this trade show, people are already booking their hotel rooms, planning their travel. Cape hotels are booking out at crazy rates already, which I think you guys have addressed. So just don't sit on this. Do it as soon as you can. Okay, that's it.
So I was actually at an event on Saturday, and by the way, it was cold, very cold. It was Earth Day in Forest Park, St. Louis. This particular booth that I was at was about protecting the night from light pollution, but I had an Eclipse map out and I gave out a box of cards. People, that's all they really want to talk about. They just want to talk about the eclipse and where they're going to go, and they were booking things. So what's going to happen is that people will start going out to their search engine, Google or whatever else, Bing, and then they're going to start looking stuff up. And if you aren't out there and been out there for a while, the people that have been out there a while are going to pop up, and that's where they're going to go. They're going to go the easy way, right? So you need to get ahead of it. You need to get a presence, and even a small town can make a big presence, because the truth is you're offering the same product if you're in totality as the big towns, right? In fact, you might even offer some stuff that's really very cool to them, very personalized, right? So it really is important to get ahead of this and be on the table as far as offering events and things to do and plans to do and the personalized touch and all that, if you really can. So Robbie, is there anything else you want to add before we move on?
No, I was going to say, like I said, I just want a brief update on that. And like I said, contacting your legislators is always a helpful thing to do. But I agree with everything Liz has just said, that getting on top of it and making sure you are promoting your own community, right? Because there's plenty of visitors for all of us.
That's right. So what's the timeline on this? Do you see, Robbie? Do you see?
Well, a budget has to be done second week in May. So we're coming up, I guess, in probably a week from Friday, I guess it may be the deadline, but it's coming up quickly. And then the governor will have time to go over the budget and line item veto things. So we may send out a message to just people to encourage the governor to sign it, but we're not there yet. Just talk to your legislator over the next couple of weeks, and we'll go from there. So
that's a good call for action. If you just contact your legislator and say this is important to you guys, and that I think will help if it comes down to trying to build some support for that. All that stuff adds up, right?
Right. And like I said, it's an easy hill. It's already there. Trying to add something after it's already put together can be tough. But just keeping something that's already in is a little easier task.
Okay. Well, very good. Thank you. Well, thanks a lot, Robbie. And keep us updated here. Just post out to our little groups IO, if you will. You know, if there's something that we will do. If there's something coming up that you want us to know about, or a particular specific thing you want some help with, okay?
Yep. And if it does become reality, well, I'll get a timeline and go from there.
Okay, we'll have to have a kickoff party or something like that, whatever. So, all right, Autumn, you want to talk a little bit about your event coming up? You have some time here?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Okay, so hello again, everyone. I am with the Ozark Small Business Incubator. We are in West Plains, Missouri, but we serve a whole 7-county region around us. And our goal is to help business owners just kind of be prepared in all ways. And this upcoming eclipse seemed like a very obvious way for us to step in and help be sort of that educational resource for small business owners, and also in this case, community planners. Because we've had quite a few people come to us already asking for assistance. So we have organized an event called EPIC, an Ozarks Eclipse Experience, which is much harder to say than you would think. That's coming up on May 11th here at the Incubator in West Plains, and it will feature several keynote speakers. The first is Brooke Kaufman, who led the marketing and planning efforts in Casper, Wyoming during the 2017 eclipse. And they saw just a huge economic gain from that. But also, there was a lot of planning that needed to go into that. I know this group is more aware of that than most people, so I don't need to really preach to the choir, but she will be here at the event talking first to community planners and organizers and chamber members and city members and things like that about how to plan, what to expect in terms of traffic and emergency response and hospitality and things like that. And then she'll do a second presentation to the attendees as a whole. Everyone is invited to both groups, of course, but her second presentation will be more about how small business owners can prepare for the eclipse. As Robbie mentioned, you know, if you're not out there already on Google and doing your search engine optimization around the eclipse, you need to be. It's time to get out there. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir with this group, but that's what Brooke will be talking about during the event as well. And then we have Peggy Hill, who is definitely a member of this task force. I met her through here. She will be coming to just talk about the science behind the eclipse and how to safely observe it. And then finally, we'll be closing out the event with two speakers. The first is Hive Minded Marketing, which is the creative agency that I worked with in my capacity as tourism director with Ozark Vitality to create a free Eclipse media kit. And that media kit is available. It's on our website now, our OSBE website. I'm going to post some information in the chat with our website link, and then I'll follow up with an email with the event flyer and our link so you can learn more. But Hive Minded Marketing will be here to talk about how to use that media kit to get the attention of the tourists and kind of turn those tourists into customers. So I would very much love to see anyone, you know, from this committee at our event. And I'd love for you to share that around if you think that, you know, community planners or organizers or business owners that just need a little bit more information. In addition to the big Eclipse Expo in July in St. Louis, I think this is going to be a good way for them to kind of start to get their feet wet in terms of planning. And then our final speaker will actually be the Missouri Division of Tourism. They're bringing an individual down to talk about how kind of important it is from a tourism perspective. And I think if that tells you anything, the fact that there's a budget line item for some support and they're supporting events like this, they're anticipating it to be a big deal. And I think we should expect that as well. So that is, one more thing. After the May event, Hive Minded Marketing, that creative agency, is going to be back at the incubator in June. I'm going to put this in the chat as well. They will be talking on June 8th about how to attract tourists and keep them coming back after the eclipse. They'll be talking at that workshop a little bit more about regional marketing, which I think is going to be really exciting. So that's what's going on. And I thank you all, and very much Dawn as well for the time this morning.
Yeah, so we do have your event on our website, our moeclipse.org, and if there's some more links that you want us to put out there, or if you want to share with the Mo Eclipse any materials that you would like to, just feel free to do that. So yeah, we're obviously here to help each other, and that's important to do that. So I think we all learn from everyone else, and so it's just great to share those resources, right? So are there any questions for Autumn at all from any of the group here? All right, so well, thank you, Autumn. All right, so let's just talk about a couple other things here. So we are working on the Eclipse Expo, but I think before that, before I give an update on that, what I want to encourage everyone to do, we have a website, moeclipse.org, and if you have a landing page for your community, let us know what that landing page is, and we'll put that link on our front page. We'll have a lot of those links. We did this last time. So really the moeclipse.org is not an original source of stuff. It's really just a place. It's like a gateway to somewhere else. In other words, they'll come to our place, find all these wonderful things, and then just move on to some other a link maybe to what you guys are doing, Autumn, in your area or whatever else. And so just give us your link. And if you have an event coming up, let us know that, and we'll basically post that to our system. Now, when it comes down to the day of events, we did this last time. We had a lot of events on our website. So kind of what we train people to do is say, there's so much stuff out there. You can go to a lot of places, try to find all this stuff, but just come to our website as the first beginnings point. We'll show you some stuff going on around the region. You can pick where you want to go. That's fine. We're not hosting an event as a Missouri Eclipse Task Force per se. We're basically, we're going to actually be a gateway to show where things are. So if you got an event, let us know. We'll post it on our calendar. If you have a website landing, let us know. We'll post it on our front page. And we'll get more and more sophisticated as we do that. And that really will help, I think, build the support of the team. Now, let's talk just a minute about the expo. The expo is a big deal for us. We are putting a lot of effort behind this, and it's in Cape Girardeau. It's not in St. Louis, it's in Cape Girardeau. We have 34,000 square feet booked. We can do up to almost 100 exhibits. We have 2 theaters of speakers. We have educational stations. This is where a family can go to a station and learn how to build a pinhole projector or whatever else it is. This is a very big event. It's a Saturday, July 22nd, and the night before we'll be live streaming from the Southeast Missouri State, a panel of experts that will talk about getting ready for the eclipse. Now, it's free to go to. In other words, if you book tickets in advance, it's free to go to. When you walk in, we're going to have giveaways, solar glasses. If you have something you want to sell, as long as it's not concessions, in other words, food, you can sell that, no problem. There's no restrictions on that. The booths are inexpensive. If you want to have a booth, I think it's $50 for a nonprofit, $100 for a for-profit, and that's a 10 by 10, couple chairs. If you don't want to staff the booth, in other words, you just want to be there and enjoy it, we have tables for free. If you're a nonprofit, you can set up a table, just put up a couple of display folders and walk around and enjoy the event all day. The event goes from 10 to 5 o'clock on Saturday, July 22nd, and it's really driving distance from a lot of areas. So this is a professional group. It's a monster truck size arena. We have, I believe, 28 exhibitors already booked. We have a lot of speakers already booked. I think we have our panel pretty much set for Friday night. Yeah, we've got so we got 13 speakers actually booked right now. These will be talking about everything you can think of, everything from the weather to what's an eclipse all about, what can you do for activities. So this is really an educational event, but also a chance for you guys to show off what you've got going on and just learn from others, frankly. This is just really the whole thing. We're hoping to have schools involved with this. We have I think we have a planetarium that'll be set up. Rockwood's been gracious enough to let us use their big Earth globe, which is a great thing. I think they did a program, How Big is Big, which is really kind of fun. So this is a huge Earth globe. I'm trying to get something from the Lunar and Planetary Institute about the moon. We have just a lot of things happening. It's going to be a fun day, and there's plenty of room there. So at least at the moment, we're not finding any problems with space because it is a very, very large arena. So this is a really great chance, I think, for you guys to be involved. But we really do need your help. We want you to help us promote this event. So when I did this in St. Louis in 2017, we were able to get the media, they tapped in, and we actually sold 12,000 tickets. Now, it turns out that they only 5,000 show up. That's just the way it works. They book them ahead. They forgot they booked them. They book them again kind of thing. But we had 5,000 people one day. This arena that we're booking actually has more capacity than that. So, but it's a smaller town to draw from, but it's also a bigger area to draw from. In other words, all these towns around this, and we don't care if you're in Arkansas or if you're in Illinois or whatever else. We believe in working together. So Bob Baer from SIU Carbondale will be coming down, and they're bringing the planetarium. He's going to be a speaker. So you can see that we don't care. It's not a Missouri only thing. It's promoting the eclipse to organizations, to the public. It's free, so you can't really get much better than that. But if you want to exhibit, we would love for you to get those booked as well. So the way we're planning this is that when we get about 30 days out, we really would like to have everything pretty much locked down. In other words, the exhibits are pretty much locked down because we have to get handouts and we have to work a lot of coordinating details. So don't think that you have all the way up to July 22nd to book your exhibit. We will take a booking all the way up to the last minute. But if you want to be on things like the handout that shows where people are, on the signage, it's really better to get your thing booked ahead of time. So if you're a library, school, we'd love to have you. If you're a business, we'd love to have you. It's really one of those things that you just really can help us really promote that really well. Okay.
John, I got a question.
Yeah.
We're bringing that solar system model down.
Yeah.
And I think Ray Mueller is going to be bringing probably about 20 large posters that display topics in astronomy.
Yeah.
Would they be better outside or inside?
I would say inside. We have plenty of room. In fact, I believe if we get this all worked out, I actually have a very cool map of 2017. I'm going to bring that. So it'll be like looking back a little bit kind of thing, but there'll be plenty of room.
Okay.
The 2017, Rick is more familiar with this than maybe the rest of you. 2017, the arena we used was 20,000 square feet. This is 34,000 square feet.
Right.
That's before even getting into extra rooms that we could book. So if you guys have activities or something you want to show off, let us know. We could probably find room for it. And you know what? We're looking for all the content we can get here. Okay.
Sure.
Any questions on the expo or how to please help us promote this? It's really hard right now to do this. Everybody's laying back a little bit, and of course it's like today with Prime. You order today, you expect to get it tomorrow, but that's not the way that the actual expos really work. You have to book these things ahead of time. Let's talk about glasses a little bit. We are up to over 200,000 glasses that are going through Rainbow. Again, it's you could order a minimum 3,000 if you want them branded, in other words, with your logo. We have a stock brand a stock design that you can put your basically your images on, your logos on, or you can create your own for the same price. I mean, you have to create your own, but the price of the glasses is still 35 cents. And so that's 35 cents each for 3,000 minimum. If you don't have the ability to do 3,000, you can get 1,000 unbranded. In other words, stock, not your logo on it. And those are all options. I confirmed yesterday with Rainbow that they're all fine with that still. There's a little small setup fee and of course shipping, you have to pay for that. But those are really great prices. And I've been talking with Rainbow and they're telling me that they're really worried that the prices are going to go up because of the demand, the paper prices and things like that. So you really need to get that going. I mean, you never know when they might come back to me and say, Don, we just got to raise our prices. The prices are going crazy right now. And especially with the big area that this Eclipse path is going through, the big volume of people. I think that people are going to realize that they've been waiting too long to order them, and then it'll be just a bunch of orders. And I'm afraid that's going to make it difficult. As much as Rainbow wants to work with us as a special group, you know, they got to fulfill orders. So if there's a big flood of orders, well, yours is just going to get in the line like everybody else. So order them early and make sure that you have enough. Don't underestimate. They are called Eclipse glasses, but they're really solar glasses. So you've got 2 eclipses to practice on. You got the October event that you can actually use these for. And you also have an April 8th, 2024 event that you could do it. But even after that, they're still fun because educational schools can use those to look at the sun, to talk about how solar eclipses work and the sun works and things like that. So, you know, and frankly, the way I looked at it is that if you want to sell glasses, you can buy them for 35 cents. When I went down to the last eclipse on the road, I find them being sold for up to $10. And so it doesn't take too many $2, $3, $4, $5 or $10 to recover all of your costs and make money on it. So it could be a moneymaker for you, quite honestly. It's happy for you to do that.
I do have another question. When we had the 2017 eclipse, our contact number information was on something, a bulletin board or something that was in St. Louis that you probably put it on. And we got a lot of customers from that notification. That helped us move most of our Eclipse glasses at that time. Is that going to happen this time too? Or?
Yeah, so we'll go with the flow. So the way that worked last time is that I ran, of course, Trish is the big chief this time. I'm trying not to be the chief. So I ran the one in 2017. So we had a very robust calendar of events, the things that I've been asking you guys for. You tell us what your event is, we'll post on that. And what happened, the Post-Dispatch picked up on that, and they actually took it even further. They got professional staff that could go out and research that. And they did a really good job of saying, okay, here's where you can get your glasses. And so yesterday, literally on Saturday, I actually spent some time with the Post-Dispatch feature writer. And I think that we can really work with them to be able to help you promote that. I mean, to the extent that they're willing to do that. Now, the problem with the Post and some of the St. Louis media is they're seeing some of this is a little outside their territory, but I think we're trying to position ourselves as a statewide resource. And believe me, even though the totality is strictly within the southeast part of Missouri, all of it really is partial. In other words, the entire North America. So everybody's going to be in the path in some way or another. It's just a matter of whether you're in the path of totality or not. So we're really going to be pressing hard. I have a few press contacts, a few kind of cool things that may or may not happen. We don't know. We've already been on Channel 4. Trish has been on Channel 4, PBS. We were interviewed by a pretty cool film crew that's doing a national film, and they really like what we have. And so they may very well come in and do some filming that day. And even if that doesn't happen, we have a student film crew at the expo that will be planning to talk with people about their experience with 2017 Eclipse and what their experience is at the expo. And I think they're planning to live stream it. I think they're out of Cape Girardeau. So we have film crews coming in. We have heroes coming in. We have lots of stuff like that could make it fun. But the point is you need to really start building some excitement in the community. And I know it's hard. It's hard to believe, like, okay, I don't even really think this thing's real. But this is not something that's new to us. We had this the last time. It just took a while to do that. And the best thing you can do is have everything, the framework built, so that when they finally do get excited, you have a way to respond to that. Don't wait till them to be really sure. But I love what you're doing. And Suzanne, if you send me an email, I've got some instruction sheets that I can send you on how to get the glasses ordered. So we built some nice instructions. We don't just post that on the website because we don't want, it's for the task force members. Rainbow doesn't want us selling their glasses at our price to the general public. So we just don't do that. All right. So are there any other topics that we want to discuss here? All right, there you go. Suzanne found the link to the folder. Cool. All right, this is great. So I know this is every month. It seems like, wow, we cover the same things, but it is important to stay on top of this. Right now, my estimate is we have about 8 weeks to what I call the lockdown for the expo. So we need to get a lot of stuff done in 8 weeks. And then after that, we got another 4 weeks to get ready for showtime. So my point is, if you're going to come to the expo, get your tickets, number one. Get as many friends as you can to get tickets, especially ahead of time. We're actually tallying those tickets, and we show vendors that are potentially coming in from out of town, hey, this is worth your while. And then get your exhibit going. We have plenty of exhibit space right now, and we'll try to put light groups together. So I think we have basically several park systems, national forests, all that. We'll put them together. We'll put schools together to the extent you have that. We'll put towns together. So that'll be like going through Main Street, whatever else, and First Street, Second Street, whatever you want to call it, so that it's a pretty cool event. And we'll have a lot of activities going on. All right. It sounds like we're caught up here, unless there's anybody else has anything at all. All right, well, I'll give you a packed part of your day here. I appreciate your time today, and you have our contact information if you have any questions. I know sometimes you don't want to ask it online, that's fine. And looks like Alyssa was very kind. She provided her link, our email address. If you guys want to take a moment to write that down, that would be great. All right, so I am recording this, and when we get done here, I'll trim it and I'll get it out there and post it on our MissouriEclipse.org on our Groups IO account, so that you can get a link to it. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day. Okay.